Good morning. My name is Peter Latey and this is my testimony. One of my earliest memories is that of challenging God, my Heavenly Father. I was a 9-year-old boy at school, and in the back of the playground at Hugh Middleton Primary School in London, I remember waving my fist at heaven, and I told God that I was no longer going to follow him, but follow the God of evolution. I was really big into evolution at that time. 10 years later, at the age of 19 years, when I thought I knew everything, as you do, I knelt beside my bed, alone in a Butlin chalet, in Skegness, dressed in my red and whites, as a children's uncle's red coat. I had a prayer card in my hand that I'd got from the Reverend Trevor Deering. He was the visiting camp minister that year. He was only there for 3 weeks, but dozens of people came to Christ that time. I saw lots of people healed. I saw people falling down under the power of God. Staff and guests alike. But the prayer card I had in my hand was just a few simple lines of confession of sin to God. I humbled myself and I asked him to forgive me for rejecting him and trying to live my life my way. I invited him to come into my heart and take control of my life. At that point, it felt as though God had put a hole in the crown of my head and took a great big jug of peace and filled me up with his peace from the soles of my feet to the top of my head. It was a physical sensation that I had. And I knew in an instant that this God was real and he had come into my life, into my heart to live. I went to Skegness Town and bought my first King James Bible and began to feed upon his word. The following week, I saw my sister go through the same process, and she too gave her heart to Christ. My first prayer was for a wife. I'd always felt that, even from the age of 12, that being married was a key to building my life. But I never seemed to meet the right girl. My mum always told me to get a job, get a career. But I thought, but then, what if I have this career and then I meet somebody, but then she lives miles away? Then what do I do? So I didn't think that was a good idea at all. After my prayer to God for a wife, I started to have a dream of a girl with brown hair. Her name would begin with J, and she would be a Butlin redcoat. So for the next 2 seasons, before setting off for Butlin Skegness in 1974 and 75, I would kneel at my bed at home before God and ask, is this the season, Lord, when I would meet my wife? Nothing happened. So at the end of each season, I would just say, all right, Lord, I'm coming back next year. By the 3rd season, though, in 1976, I'd had enough by then. I simply told the Lord that this was it. I was not coming back and to Butlins again, and it was now or never. God had it all planned out. Of course, that year in 1976, Janet, a redcoat of Butlins with brown hair, came into my life. That was 44 years ago. Jesus Christ, God, is the same today, yesterday, and forever. I nearly met her like the year before as a guest, but I met her mother instead, who had been on the guest committee, which judged all the competitions during the week. As the compere, I did lots of comps that Janet's mum was judging. So she knew me and spoke of me when she got home. But Janet didn't want anything to do with me at that point. He really did, though, have it all planned out. I have never doubted my God or his salvation. I continue to read and feed upon his word and remain his son and servant to this day. There is no shadow of turning with God, and neither with me. I am a believer and not a doubter, and so I shall remain until I die. I return to my home. I hope this helps you this day. God bless you. Bye-bye.